daughter-in-law told her mother-in-law that she was pregnant with a boy, but her mother-in-law suspected she was lying and dragged her by the hair. Her husband watched everything happen and chose to believe her mother and stayed silent. From then on, he let her do all the dirty work. He didn't have any pity for his wife even when she wasn't feeling well. The wife left in a state of despair, but within a few steps, she fell to the ground. The son she'd been expecting died, and couldn't understand why her husband was so different before and after the wedding. Before marriage, he was very considerate. He always worked hard to clean up the new house and promised to take her on a trip around the world when he was rich. But afterward, he was always impatient, always scolding her, and had a sneaking suspicion that her husband was becoming like this because the baby he was carrying was not going to survive. So she put up with everything until her mother-in-law died and until she had a child. But it's been 50 years. The daughter-in-law became a mother-in-law. She thought she'd be happy in her old age, but there was always a lot of work to do. Her eldest daughter, who was adopted, was always unwell. Whenever she came to clean her house, she always stays in bed and it's hard to see her. Her second daughter is divorced. She also has to help with the housework and the kids. And the youngest daughter's house is a mess. It's a tiring day, but Annie was still optimistic. She was always reminded of her husband's promises, but he had changed so much. He's become calculating. He was so calculating about the electricity and water bills that he'd ask her to pay for a 50-cent popsicle. Annie thought her husband was trying to save up for a trip, so she let him do whatever he wanted, and the man took those concessions for granted. Annie was late getting downstairs. He'd drive off with her screaming behind him, not caring if she was on her feet or not. She comes home late. He locks the door behind her and lets her stay out in the cold all night, regardless of whether it's freezing outside or not. And when she eats too much, and when she ate too much, he scolded her for looking like a pig, regardless of her self-esteem. But even so, and still had faith in her husband that he would honor his promises. On the day of her husband's retirement, Annie asked him about his plans. It turned out to be nothing more than a lie, and angrily tore up the paper and ran out the door. For the first time, she was thinking of divorce. And then something even more infuriating happened. While cleaning up the house, she accidentally found her husband's account book. She realized that he had secretly saved 4 houses over the years, not for his retirement, but had quietly transferred them to his 8 brothers to help them out. When my mother was alive, I had to send her to the coldest room in the nursing home because I didn't have the money, and he had so many houses but couldn't give up even a small place for the elderly. Annie's heart was broken and she decided to leave him.